Hey y'all, I'm Rio, and today we're getting hot into the Everglades National Park book. I have a friend, her name is Luna, and she asked me if the very first tutorial in this book, because she has a copy of this book, she's the first person to get a copy of this book, we gave her a copy before it came out, would be the horseshoe crab. So today we're going to dive right into the horseshoe crab. Let's get started. Okay guys, let's get into it. Luna, as promised, the first tutorial out of this book will be your favorite page, which is the horseshoe crab. Let's get into it. So, I'm going to lift this up a little bit. I'm going to move these back just a touch so I can see the whole page. There we go. Ooh, look at that, surrounded by color. Loving this. Got my coffee, ready to go. All right, in the back of my book, I have swatched the colors of the line of pencils you can get on the website. And so I am gonna pull 61, 60, and 59. I wanna get the shadows in there first. This is number 61. So I've grabbed pencil number 61. Oh, I need my readers. Hang on, y'all. Here we go. First thing I'm going to do is come in here and start laying in the shadows. So I know where my darkest parts are going to be on the whole page. And I know that area right here is shadowed. And I know this area right here is even darker. So with the exact same pencil, I'm just going to push a little bit harder here. I'm taking my time. I'm coloring in teeny tiny little baby circles so that I don't have a bunch of lines. I don't want to see the lines. I don't want to see the lines from my coloring. Now I'm going to leave some of these a little bit open because that's how you make the water kind of look like water. You see I'm coming right back up against this sweet little baby horseshoe crab's face, and I'm just making it as dark as I can right up against his face. That's the whole thing with the shadows. Right up against the object, it's darker. As it spreads out, it gets a little bit lighter. It already looks great. Okay. Now I'm not saying that I won't come back to this, but for right now, I think we're good. Now back here on his body, this book is a little bit easier than some of the other books because I used a lot of the photographs that are in the book as the material for the illustrations. So you've got a great page to look at. So right here, behind this part of his shell, this is where his tail it's hinged, it can move around. This whole back half of him can move around. I see that it's darker in here and on the other side. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna add, and I'm gonna start easy because you can always go darker, but it's super hard with colored pencils and watercolor to go lighter. So I know that it's dark right here where it's a hinge, but not super dark like the shadow. So I'm just barely touching it there. As I come down the shell, I know it's gonna get darker. And I know it's pretty dark right here. but not the whole thing. Again, not coloring all of the, not coloring everything in. I know there's a little bit of dark here. And I also know that that's a water reflection. The water is over his shell right here. So we're trying to create two different illusions. We're trying to give you the illusion that this is not a 2D shape, but a 3D shape. And we're also trying to give you the illusion that the water is actually there too. So this one's a little bit tough, but you're gonna get through it. Don't give up. So I know that this part right here is dark. And then this is not so dark. These colored pencils are wonderful. This is going to be dark, so I'm really push hard right here on this little spiky. And I know that this spike is going to be dark. I'm going to use the same blue. I'm going to come over to the other side over here and just start laying in some of this edge shadow here. I know that we are dark up against the hinge again. I know that we are darker in this area right here on top of his shell. Do the lines for you so that you would have an easier time of understanding where those shadows were going to fall. And then on the back side of his shell, it's going to be shadowed back there too. Coming back over here, I definitely need to darken all of this up. So before I even switch colors, I'm just coming in and I'm switching how hard I am coloring in these areas. Gonna outline that ridge right above his eye with a little bit of this number 61. Blue-gray is what they've called this color in the package. I'm gonna come back over onto this side, give him a little bit of color over here. Definitely darker right in here. And you see I'm just taking my time and I'm building up those darker hues. Okay, same colored pencil. I've got a bunch of little scratchies all over his face. I've drawn them in here. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna outline all of these. I'm gonna start putting a little bit of this dark color here. I thought we were gonna change colors, but I've decided to go ahead and add a little bit of it here. I also want to outline the outside of that eyeball because I can see that super dark color there too. And I'm really gonna get in there. Don't be shy on that one, it's okay. Being very careful. Because we're gonna layer some other colors on this to make it pop off the page. So I just want to get just a little bit more color on here. It's interesting to me how a colored pencil can give you several different colors all in one situation, just by how much pressure you use. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that now. You see down here, I'm coloring even looser. I always tell you to color super smooth, but down here I want it to be a little bit looser. And it's because, see, right here is where that water line is. So his face is out of the water right there. It's okay. This is where it's darker. It's darker right here. This is water ripples. The wider part of this is the water ripples. The skinny part, which I just colored right there, I will have to come back in and fix that that's okay. It's totally fixable. So we're gonna put a little bit of dark back here on his tail. Forgot about his tail, we can't do that. Do you know that these guys have 10 eyes? 10 eyes. The horseshoe crab is just absolutely fascinating to me. Almost to me like little aliens. Color in a little bit of this. I'm kind of using this number 61 like a mixing color to make the whole piece cohesive in the end. That's really what I'm doing here. I'm gonna add a little bit of this shadow color back here too, just a touch. I mean, barely, I'm not even coloring it all in. It's kind of scratchy. There's some areas where it doesn't look like I've done a very good job of coloring. I kind of did that on purpose because I want the other colors to really show through a little bit more back here. This is just going to be beautiful though. A little bit of shadow here underneath him. Okay, this is where we're at so far. I think it's looking pretty good. Let's take a break and let's get into another pencil. Usually when I'm doing this, I like to leave my pencils out so I know what pencil I've used. All right, so I'm gonna flip to the back again so I can see my colors. Well, I'm gonna grab 38 and 39. That's 47. 38 and 39. And these aren't 100% sharpened as much as I would like them to be. So let's take a break for a second and sharpen some pencils. Okay, sound check. Let's get into it. 38 and 39. All right, so I'm gonna come back here, start layering in. See back here on the ridge, it's a little bit darker. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna add that. I'm using number 38 now. It's called black brown. This area right here. I'm going to come in and I'm going to draw right on the other side of that. This area is a lot darker. And we're probably going to go over that again with the blue just to darken it up. You're going to learn with these colored pencils that the key is layering lots of different colors to get to the color that we really want. I don't know if you can hear the sirens, y'all, but they're blaring outside. Welcome to Florida. Okay. I'm going to pick up that blue again and go right over the top of that. Just to make it a little bit darker. I just want a little bit darker. Come in here with number 38. Right over the top of that blue, teeny tiny little baby circles. Just giving it a little more color. That's all we're doing. It's just giving it a little more color. This is the first time I've ever colored or painted a horseshoe crab. Have you all ever painted a horseshoe crab before? Let me know in the comments. Take this color, start laying some of this in back here, right over where that we colored with the dark blue prior, super light. Now we're just going to start filling it in with some of these browns that I have in my hand. It's going to be a little rough at first, but trust the process. It's going to come together really nicely. And again, remember, these are for practice. This is a study. This is where we work out any issues with any of the colors, any of the combinations that we're putting together. This right here is where we work all that out. So I'm not even trying to be perfect here, and I'm filming this for you. I'm just trying to find the best color palette possible so that it's pretty. I want it to be pretty, not perfect. This. I'm going to take that same brown, I'm going to come over here and on the right side of this sweet little baby horseshoe crab's eye, I'm going to start laying in some color. Now, I'm not coloring the whole eye. Don't make the mistake of coloring the entire eye. That's not what we're trying to accomplish here. I'm just coloring on the edge, and I'm pulling some color in towards the pupil, just little strands of it, little striations, if you will. Now I'm going to take the 39 and I'm going to go right up against that dark brown, the 38. add a little bit of that in there. So we've gone from a darker brown to more of a red. And then I'm gonna say that I want number 41 is supposed to be real brown. I'll talk about what I think about the names of these, because this is definitely an ochre. But that's okay. I'm going to go over the whole eye, but I'm going to leave some of it lighter so it's got a little highlighty in there. Then I'm going to take some of this and just go out here around the outside area. With this 41, and I'm barely touching this. I'm gonna go back in with the darker brown. Eyes of the window to the soul. We're gonna spend quite a bit of time right here. We're gonna really pay attention to detail right here on this. Just on the outside edge. We just want it on the outside edge. And I know that it's a little bit darker up here on this outline, so I'm gonna connect this part of the painting together by coming in here with this brown and going right over the top of where we had that blue laid in there, so we knew where our shadow was. And you see that it's just starting to come together. This is going to be a really cool piece. I'm going to have to do a whole painting of a horseshoe crab, I think. Now again, this horseshoe crab's got lots of little scratchy pieces, so you can come in with that brown and just kind of make some little nicks and scratches right over the top of that blue. This will help build character in the piece when we start coloring all of it in. I want a little bit of this brown here on the front part of his shell. Some of that brown right here. I know we're going to have some of that brown back here. And we're coloring super light with number 38. I'm going to come right back over that here in just a second with another color. We're going to color right here with 38. I'm pushing a little bit harder where my blues are darker. Again, not coloring the whole thing, just some of it. Over here, over some of this blue with this brown, just where some of that water is. Okay. Now I know that we've got a little bit of this brown undertone in here. I'm going to come in and I'm just making some hash marks here to start filling in some of this color. I don't want the whole thing filled in with color, so I'm leaving a little bit of that white showing. He's really starting to come together. This one's gonna shape up pretty fast. Okay, I'm gonna put that dark brown down. Gonna go to 39 because I see red in some of this here, and so I'm gonna come back here and start adding some of that red right directly in here. This is red here. This is red in here. Kind of on the edges of some of the blue. All we're trying to do right here is create the illusion of the water ripples. So I've been doing this for a long time and I still think they're kind of hard, so I just have to take my time and really concentrate on not coloring too much at once. We don't want to color too much at once. And you can't see me. We're filming out of the studio for this right now because I wanted to get these started immediately. Because of the students that have been able to pick up copies of the books before anyone has even seen them. They haven't even been released to the market yet, but we've got a bunch of students that have them in hand. I wanted to go ahead and get started. So the film setup is just of the tutorial. Because we are filming this from an Airbnb. Red here in this part of the shadow. Okay, so now I'm feeling like I've got to add a little bit of different colors down in here. I'm seeing some purples up in here. I'm going to flip back to my purple here. I'm going to grab number 31. Oh, really? So it's this one? There's no way that's 31. 21. I'm grabbing number 21, sorry. Okay, number 21 is called Pale Green Lotus. Who names these? Pale Green Lotus. That's literally what it says on there. I am so confused. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, so back here in this background, in the lighter areas, I'm seeing this purple. So we're going to come in here and very, very lightly color right over all of it. With Pale Green Lotus. That is not green at all. But lavender. That's really funny to me. You had one job to name the colors. And here we are. That color's gonna work though, quite nicely. This is gonna have to get darkened up here, I feel like, and this is gonna need to be, go over all of this with this Pale Green Lotus. Come down here with the Pale Green Lotus. Oh, that's such a nice color combination there. We're gonna come back here with our pale green lotus. Oh yeah, right in here with the pale green lotus. I can see it in these areas for sure. It's up here on the top of the shell. And you see it's not really reading like the actual color of the pencil because it's just blending. It's a transparent layer that's just going right over the top of everything else. I'm going to color that little streak right there. I'm going to come down here and give this some love down here with this pale green lotus. Wow. I don't know what happened there, but pretty sure it's not green. Let's bring some of this into the water reflections here. Not the whole thing, just a little bit. And do some of this here. This pale green lotus. And then we're going to go back over that with the blue, obviously. I'm going to color a little bit the side of his face too, just barely. Kind of doesn't matter. We're not doing the teeny tiny little baby circles because I'm just using the same amount of pressure just to fill it in so there's no more white showing on the paper. Because now we want all the white on the paper to read, well, we want the white covered, and that will, with the higher value hues, the lighter shades, that will read like white. And see what I'm doing here? I'm just kind of coming in and I'm starting to really just go over all of these areas and blend them all together with this lavender color here that's, you know, been misnamed. See how I'm getting that color? I don't have this color in the box, but if I layer these colors together, then I can create the illusion of having all of those different colors in the box. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That should have been a different color. Alright, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to start really kind of getting into the nitty gritty back here with this. Does your hand hurt? My hand hurts. I've done clinics all week long though, without a day off. So I have had quite a warm-up session to the art again, which is always very helpful. He's looking pretty good, I gotta say, looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna set this one down so that we can come back to it in a little bit here. Let's analyze some more and figure out what else we need to pick up. We probably need to pick up it's called red gray, pale red gray. It's number 69. We're gonna come in with number 69. Actually, you know what I wanna do first? I wanna grab apricot yellow, which is number 13. Then I'm going to come in here and start putting in some of this apricot yellow. Oh yeah, it's going to be really pretty. So I know that I've got some of that right here. Look at that. It's going to read just like sunshine on this sweet baby. Just like sunshine. I'm going to put it here on his eye. Put a little bit in his eyeball. I'm going to have some of these highlights here for the water. It's not exactly the color that I want, but it's not terrible either, so I'm going to let it ride. We've got some highlight right here. We've got some highlight right here. We've got some highlight back here. And again, I'm not coloring everything like this. I'm just adding little glints of color here and there and yonder so that it all is cohesive together. Got some glint of highlight here. You see we've got just tiny little areas where we've got a little bit of highlight here. See how nice that looks? Oh my gosh, I love that. Look at that, his sweet little face is just coming to life. Okay, so we're gonna come in here. I'm gonna set this down for just a minute. We probably wanna pick up, I'm gonna grab this dark red skin, is what it's called. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a little bit, it's going to read like pink, and that's what I want. I want a little bit of a pink tone on some of these areas. And then we're going to go over this with the gray. Notice I'm not coloring everything, just some of it. Just some of it, really. This whole area right here is a little bit darker. We'll come back in and we'll work this a little bit more later. This whole area right here is a little bit darker. So is this. But you see how the colored pencils are magical if you just layer them properly. That dark red gray. Here we go. Let's add some of this dark red gray in here. Right over the top. I'm gonna focus, make teeny tiny little baby circles right here on the side of the face. We're gonna come in just a little bit and we're gonna add a little more blue to that because it's not quite the right hue that I want, but it's okay. And I'm not going to color below this little line here. If you look at your photograph, this eye and this part of the face is out of the water, so it needs to be a different color. We're going to go over it with a little bit of yellow here in just a second. I think that that will give us what I'm looking for. Well, it's already kind of starting to work. Oh, looky there. See? Yay! it's working. It's working. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the dark blue again. The very first one we started with. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna start adding and I'm barely touching this. And I'm not gonna color every single piece of it. I want some water ripple looking effects in there. So some of it's gonna get darker and some of it's gonna stay lighter. And I'm coloring right over all of that color I just painstakingly put down. Really wasn't painstakingly. Can't really call it painstakingly when you love what you're doing. There's water there. There's a water ripple right here. There's a water ripple right here in the middle of all this lavender. Remember, I told you we were going to come back in here and add that in. Well, here we go. We're not coloring the whole thing. We're just doing some of it because that's how we create the illusion that the water is there and it's moving. So now we want to come in and start darkening up some of this back here in the back. That's definitely a darker water ripple. That's darker. This is definitely darker. This area right here. Oh, look, it's so cute. Oh my gosh. These guys are so adorable too. When we were out filming for in the Everglades doing research for this book, we got an opportunity to rescue one from a shark, and well, I'm pretty sure it was a shark. The water was so dark you couldn't tell, but it had been hit by something under the water and knocked over. It was upside down on the surface, and we were going by as it happened, and so we netted it, brought it into the boat, made sure that it hadn't sustained any injuries, which it had not. Got to say hi to him, and then move to a different area and release him so that he had a chance to see another day. And just have been in love with them ever since. Just so cute. Okay, coming back to the horseshoe crab sound check. All right, so this is starting to develop quite nicely. So it's time to start adding some more and more layers of color in here. What do I want to do next? I want to start getting this blue in here really developed. And I feel like it needs to be a little bit of this color right here, which is just straight up blue, number 26. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start putting this in. Right here on top. I want that to have a little more of a purple feel to it. I'm going to come back here and look at my swatch colors. I want number 53 out. Yeah, number 53 and number 25. So I think this is 25. Nope, that's 24. So I want number 25 out. This is why it's super important to go ahead and swatch all your colors. And 53. That's 56. Is this 53? 53. Let's go back and check one more time. Yeah, 53. Okay, 53 it is. So I'm going to take 53 right over the top of that. Oh, yep, there we go. That's the color I'm looking for. That's one of them. I'm seeing some of this purple right here. Let me move some of these colors. I'm seeing some of the purple on these ridges here on his back. So I want to make sure that we get that color in there. It'll just help make it look a little more realistic. We've got some of this purple back here. We've got that purple right here. You can see just a little bit of it. Got a little bit of that purple right here on the edge of his shell. Got some of that purple in here in the water lines here. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty. A little bit of it up on it. It's just a little bit of a reflection of it on his face. So I'm not gonna push as hard. I just want to see some of it up there on his face. How good that's looking. Yep, this is coming along quite nicely. So I feel like I've got to add some more gray here. I'm gonna grab the gray, which is number 67. And I'm gonna come in right over the top of this. And we want all the variations of all this color to still stay true. So it's just another layer, a glaze layer, right over the top of what we've already put together. Doing teeny tiny little baby circles. They're actually a little bit elongated. A little bit of elongated circles here, so that I'm not showing a bunch of brush strokes or pencil strokes, however you want to say it. And then I'm going to come up here and, again, pay attention. I'm not coloring the whole thing. I'm just sort of putting in some more color variations. These are the tricks to the trade that make it look realistic. Gonna go over the top up here and just a few areas with the gray. I'm just building on top layer after layer. Gonna add some of this gray back here. Same gray color. Coloring in a different direction now. Getting a little more coverage. Gonna take one of the blues here. This one is the light sky blue. Gonna come in here and I am barely gonna touch the area of his face that's out of the water. Because it's got a little bit of a blue reflective hue to it, in my opinion. Gonna come up here on this part of the blue. We've put lots of blue up here, but I see lots of blue and purple in this part right here. The colors don't match exactly, but it's okay because the colors I've used are really cohesive together, so it's all right that it's not exactly a match. Gonna add a little bit of that out here on the edges. Okay, gonna set that down. Now I think we've got to go in again with the dark colors. That's what time it is. It's time to darken some of this stuff up a little bit. The other thing I want to do is figure out how I'm going to handle the water. How's it looking? Oh, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. So, if I was going to color the sand, I think I would pick up the red, the pale red gray, which is number 69. I'm barely touching this paper. Barely touching this paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in with the paint pens in a little bit and highlight all of this stuff so that it does look exactly how I want it to look. So some of this is a little bit darker than the others. Come in here and I'm just going to add a tiny layer of this pale red gray. Then I'm going to come in with the blue and the purple. These are ripples on the water here. So all the area is not going to be the same solid color. So I've put down a base layer, then I've colored some extra little areas, just pressing a little bit harder. That's all I've done with the exact same colored pencil. Over here, we have the same situation. We've got some of these colors right up against the crab. We're going to come in and we're going to darken a bunch of this. But you got to be really careful with the water that you not get crazy and go dark right out of the gate. You want it to be soft and light so that you can build up on it. Now I'm gonna add some darker areas and some lighter areas. This area back here is gonna be pretty. A little bit darker. Okay, I'm picking up my super dark. I need a dark purple. Hyacinthine? I don't even know what that is. Coming to the back side of this baby here with the hyacinthine. This is number 55. Purple is the darkest naturally occurring color on the color wheel. So I start with the blue and then I go over some of those super dark areas with what I would call a dioxazine purple. Obviously every brand gets to name their own, and one of these days maybe we'll have our own brand of pencils and we'll get to name them. It's always something to work towards. And because the oxazine purple is very intense, which means it comes in front of a lot of other colors, when you're looking at it, it's always best to make sure that you've got plenty of base colors down before you use it. I don't know what we're going to do with the background yet. I haven't quite worked through the background yet. gonna add some of that purple right here on the bottom of his shell. And I'm just gonna add just some pokes, just some dots in this purple. It's just gonna give it another texture to kind of reinforce that, you know, we did in fact do a photorealistic version of this within the best of our ability on a practice page. Again, remember, this is practice, not for perfection. We're supposed to be having fun with this. I'm gonna put a little bit of that purple over here, and I'm barely touching this. I'm just trying to add some more dimension, some more color to it here. I'm gonna put some down here. I'm just gonna go right across this. I know you probably can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'll show you in just a second here. I'm just bring some of that purple out here before we start using some more of those other colors. I'm not real happy with this area right here, but we're going to get in there and get it working for us, so that's not going to be a problem a whole lot longer. And a little bit of that purple into the shadow here. So I can try to get it a little bit darker because it's really dark. And I don't like using black because all blacks are, the colors of the rainbow apply to gray and black as well. So there's a red black, a yellow black, a green black, etc. It goes all the way around the color wheel. And so if you use black straight out of the tube, then it could adjust the way you see the image. It could distort the color palette in the image that we've worked so hard on. And so I try to not use black straight out of the tube or the black colored pencils for shading. I try to use the dark blues, especially in marine wildlife. I try to use the dark blues and the dark purples for that. Add a little bit more of that dark blue here on the edge. And this is probably overkill, you guys, but I love these little horseshoe crabs so much, and I'm having such a great time coloring this one that I just want to go a little further into it than I normally would for a practice piece. Look at that. Yay, it's working. It's working. Okay. So now what do I want to do? What color is this? Is this green? It says celadon. That's a dark green. What color is this? Sapphire blue. Let's grab some of this. there's that. Now I feel like I want to I'll take that dark red skin, number 16, and I'm going to color right over these areas here. This is where I know we've got some highlight showing through. Move this over so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm pushing fairly aggressively. I'm about at my max out with these colored pencils with how many layers they can take on, I think, because I'm starting to feel it slide on the paper instead of gripping. Gonna go around his eye a little bit. Now I know the color on the photograph we used is different, and we can come in and we can adjust that. That's not a problem. So there's that. We're gonna add some right here, and we might come over that with some yellow. That might be a good idea. Let's try that. Let's try some yellow and see. What does it look like if we add a little bit of yellow right over the top of that? Ooh. We're going to use that, it's called Pale Green Lotus, number 21, which is absolutely not pale green. It is absolutely a lavender color. We're going to use it for some highlight too. Because a lot of you go into it thinking that white is your highlight color, and white is never your highlight color. Sometimes it's the glint in an eye, but all the colors of the rainbow can be highlight colors depending on what color palette you're working in. I'm going to start darkening this up here just a touch. I want to see what we can come up with this. We're going to add some darker colors. Okay, where are we at with that? I think we're going to say that we're about done with this. I might want to add a little more of the, where are we at? Coffee, which is 39. To some of these areas. Just some of them. Gonna grab the blue gray and come in here and start laying down some darker colors here that are the reflections in the water. And see that blue gray, the other gray is a red gray, and so it's going to kind of set that down. They're going to work well together. They're just going to work really well together. And just like before, I don't want the whole situation to be dark, but I do want there to be dark patches in some of this. Don't push too hard at first because you'll max out how many layers your pencils can hold right out of the gate, and then you won't be able to 100% get it to all kind of blend together like you want. Notice that I'm taking that color right up on top of the bottom of the shell here, and that's because this part of the horseshoe crab is underwater. The water is up over his face. This part of his face is out of the water, and we're going to highlight this with some paint pens here shortly, and maybe we'll start working on that for a minute right now. So if you have the gel pen that's in the kit, I'm gonna start using it. So I'm gonna come in here right around his eye, and I'm just doing a little stippling motion, just a little tap, tap, tap. I'm also gonna put in some, I have a paint pen that we're gonna activate as well in case this is too slick. In case I've got too much. Oh wow, that's really good. Hang on, I'm switching gears. I want to finish, I want to add some more color to this. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Got a pen here. I can start kind of messing with. I'd like to add a little more of a little bit of the lavender to this part of the water though. I'm always torn between just doing a straight up pop art background or trying to paint the water exactly as it is. So on this one, I'm focused on the very bottom of the illustration because I'm still not 100% sure I know what I'm going to do with the top part of this. So we'll see. We shall see, right? I think this has got to go darker. Sapphire blue. Not the color I wanted. I wanted the... This one I just put down. I want this one. Now I want some coffee right over the top of that. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. It's not exactly perfect, but it's good. Yeah, that works. Okay, let's, these pens, you've got to shake them really, really well. Get the paint flowing. Push down on the nib. There we go. Okay, here we go. I want a little bit of this right here. This kind of comes up and branches out. Now I'm going to take my finger and touch and then rub together, touch and rub together. That way I can kind of control how opaque the white is. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so good. Just kind of blending all of these things out. See, it's just going to read like water. That's what's going to happen. It's going to read like water. And that's what we're looking for. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is making me happy. Now we want to touch that a little bit. And then we've got some squigglies over here, some water lines here. Just going to touch these so that they're not as bright and intense and directly in your face as they are over here. Making water correctly takes lots of practice. I'm still not 100% great at it. But I'm going to get that way because I'm going to not give up. I'm going to keep working at it. So I know that we've got a water line down here. It kind of comes across here. So now you can kind of understand why I went on ahead and started coloring in directly over some of these areas because I want my white to pop out. Look at that. I'm so happy. Okay. See how I put that down and then I just kind of wipe it away. Still leaves me with a little bit of an indication that there's a little bit of a water reflection right there, but it's not as intense as it is right here, because I want it there, but I don't want it to be the first thing that you see. And I haven't pressed down on the pen since activating it, so there's barely any paint coming out. It's perfect amount of distribution, just slow and steady, taking my time. You can't do the whole thing with the pen, because if you do and then you come back and you try to do what I'm doing now, the paint will already be too dry. So you've got to do it a little bit at a time. See right in here where I want there to be a noticeable variance and a noticeable difference, then I don't smudge it as much. All right, so here we go. We've got a line of paint out now.
This is Rio's first official time opening the new package and trying it for the first time. Can you make it look nice?
Would you like me to Vanna White this for you?
That's what I'm doing right now. My hands look way better than yours anyway.
All right, that's Sace. For all of you who know, you know. Okay, so I almost don't even want to open it. Stephanie, I gave a set to Stephanie, Chase's wife, and I haven't, she hasn't opened it either. And I'm looking at this and I understand why, because it's so beautiful. Now, there's a ton of glitter in some of these, so, you know, when you get ready to use it, you're really going to have to determine if you want your horseshoe crab to be glittery. Great. What I've done over here in the other paint palette, these are just solid cake colors, and I have got my my swatch card right here. So I went through and I put a couple of drops of paint or a couple of drops of water on the paint that I know I want to use. And there's a red right there. I might just go ahead and activate that too. Here's another dot. This is one of my paints right here that I want to go ahead and activate that too.
Give it a little.
Here we go. So in the package,
Would have opened it from the back. Why didn't you do that? Why are you doing it from the front?
I don't know. I don't want to tear anything up. I'm so proud of the packaging, the whole 9 yards. So this has Arabic gum, food grade Arabic gum in it, distilled water, clove oil, organic honey, natural and cosmetic grade pigments. Synthetic mica was used only when necessary, and that's with some of the extreme glitter. We had to use a little bit of synthetic for that. No toxins, no fillers, just art. You want to activate these. It says right here instructions on how to activate and care for your paint in the bag. Well, let's get to that, shall we? So, right out of the gate, I see that I have stapled through my card. That's to hold it together, y'all. So you're gonna have to take your staples out. We don't want the paint card, the dot cards moving during the shipping process. So simple as that. That's out. You've got a package on the back, and this particular bag is not biodegradable. We have biodegradable bags coming. So, because I just don't want any more plastic. I don't want to be responsible for any more plastic being purchased in this world. So, naturally wild paints are handcrafted using non-toxic food grade ingredients. They are meant to be pretty, not perfect, which is why some of the dot cards, or some of the dots have look a little rough on the outside, but that's because they are literally handcrafted in small batches. And so some of them that's how they set up. It depends on how much glitter we put in them too. Each palette supports art programs and conservation education. How to use. Add 1 drop of water to the top of each paint and wait 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, let's see what we can get done here. Oh. And they smell so good because there's clove oil in it. And the clove oil is in there so that they don't mildew. Oh, they smell so good. It smells like Christmas. Wow. Okay, I'm going to set that right there. Then I'm going to come over here. And I know I want the interference ones activated. So I'm going to squeeze a drop here and a drop here, and literally 1 drop. You just need 1 drop. And maybe I want some of this peach. This Florida sunrise. Maybe a little bit of the spoonbill activated. Maybe I want some of this pickerel weed. This is actually a flower, a plant in the Everglades. And some of this tarpon. I think I want it activated as well. So we're going to give that a few seconds. We've got all of these over here have already started to really activate, and so I'm going to grab a little bit of this is called lilac, and a little bit of the pink here. And I do have a palette that I've been using. So I'm going to come over here and I want to see what this is looking like. And I'm probably going to add a little bit more water to that because I want it to be a little more translucent. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the white right here and bring that over here and put that in. And that's a little too intense for me, meaning it's coming a little too far forward. So in order to combat that, I'm going to grab a little bit of this yellow. And I haven't activated the yellow yet. But I want to put that in there and set that extreme purple down. Now I want to come in here. Oh yeah, look at that. Start laying in some of this color. Right over the top of what we've already painted. Now I want to grab a little bit of this. This one is the indigo. put the indigo down right here. I've got just a tiny bit of indigo on my brush, and I'm mixing it with the lilac and the yellow that I just put on there. I'm gonna add a little more yellow or a little more water to my indigo as well, because that indigo is really, really strong, and I don't want it to overpower my painting. So we're gonna come in here and I'm gonna just start adding that indigo wherever. See how that's starting to look now? Now we're cooking. Yeah. This is gonna make your page crinkle a little bit, but that's, in my opinion, kind of cool, because then it looks like we've really worked in a workbook. See, I'm just gonna start moving some of that color around, just wiggling my brush, trying to get some of those water lines to be showing there. And we'll come back in a minute with our paint pen again, and we'll identify where we want all those highlights to be. Just kind of squiggling all of this together now. See, that already looks better. Let's grab some more of the white, some more of the purple, make some more of that. Too intense, gonna add some more water. If you got the kit, you got the paintbrush. Add some more white, gonna add a little bit of yellow to kind of set it down a little bit. Gonna grab some more of that indigo color, mix that right around in there. So I've got two different colors burning gas at the same time here. I'm just gonna come in here and set down where I think my water should be. Gonna put some of that water right up onto him. Some of these we want darker, some of them we just want super light. And yep, the page is gonna wrinkle just a bit, but that's why we go in here with all of the colors. I want a little gray too. That's why we go in here with all the other colors first with the colored pencil and kind of coat the whole page with that beautiful colored pencil. Look at that. Yeah. Let's come in and touch in the areas where we think we want things to be a little bit darker. Just a touch darker. That's all, just a touch. Okay, now let's test out what we got going on here with our, oh yeah, oh my goodness. Okay, so let's come in here. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am just adding some glittery sparklies to this because I love the glittery sparklies. So I grabbed the cypress light. I just stick the very tip of the brush in there and grab just a touch, just a little bit of it. And I'm just adding a little bit of that sparkle here and there. I'm gonna grab the red now. Come back here. Oh my goodness. Oh, that red is just divine too. Ooh, wow. Gonna grab some of that gold. That gold has been activated just a touch. I'm gonna add a little bit of that gold. I'm even gonna put a tiny little bit of that gold in his eye. Now be careful because you can get carried away with this because it's a lot of fun to play with all of this interference, but it'll kill all of the hard work we've done if you put too much of it in. It'll flatten everything out because you see it first when you look at everything. I'm going to add some of that into the water here, a little bit on his tail. Just want that water to start kind of coming around. We got some blue. Oh my goodness! So the River Dream is a blue interference with some extra glitter in it, and it is delicious, I'm telling you. There's no way around it. It is just so nice. I'm going to put it in right up against the highlights here. I don't know if I'm doing myself a favor or if I'm making a mess here. We'll see. I know that's going to come right over the top. And then we've got the Ghost Orchid, which is a purple interference. It's a violet interference. Add a little bit of that in here to his face. Just a touch of that right across the top. My goodness. These are magical. So I'm going to set my palette down right here and keep working with what I've got to work with here. And do some gray. I want some more color up here in this water. Oh, that's really nice. You want to take your time and just build on it, because then we'll come in with the white pen and we'll highlight all the areas that need to be highlighted, and it'll look really cool. I don't know what to do with the back side of this. I almost feel like I just want to paint it super dark and drive on. What if we take the chance and we paint it this color right here? What if we do that? Did we... We didn't activate that one. I don't know if we activated this one either. Usually I do some sort of a pattern in the background, but I feel like I just want it to be super dark so that the horseshoe crab pops off the page. You see, I'm being very careful not to get my dot card wet. I'm only working within the parameter of the actual paint itself. Should we do it? Should we just do it? So we either go darker, which is super dark, or we go lighter. Which one do we do? I don't even know. What do you think? Dark?
I have no idea what you're doing, and I can't see from here. So
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna take the chance and put it down and go for it. And if we don't like it, I can color over it a little bit and see what happens. This has got a lot of glitter in it. Got a lot of glitter in it. I know it's getting lighter as I go this direction, but that's okay. We're going to come back over it. We're going to let this dry and then we're going to come back over it. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. It's got all that glitter in there. It's going to be so pretty. Woo! Look at that. It's going to be super dark. Uh-huh. Ooh, add some of that purple up in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is going to be cool. And then we'll outline him with white. Went in there and I grabbed some of that Go that's on the watercolor palette, and I'm just putting it around the dark side of this, because then once this dries back here, we're going to go in and highlight around it with the white pen, and I think it's going to look pretty cool. So let's give that a moment to recover. Let's see what we have done here. All right, here we go. So the background is a little bit drier than, you know, what it was before. I'm gonna take my paint pen and I'm just gonna outline the area behind my horseshoe crab. I like to do this on all of my paintings. Sometimes I do it thick, sometimes I do it thin. It just depends on how I feel. So I'm going to make it a little bit thicker right here because I accidentally drew the line too big. I didn't see the edge. This is the shadow for it right there. That's the shadow for it. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a little bit more. Be careful with activating the pen because, man, it will really get after it if you activate it too hard. So now I'm going to come in and going to add a little bit harsher highlights here. I've got the paint on there, so but I want a little bit more highlights. I want a little bit more highlight in the water, just in some of the areas. Some of it I want a little bit less. This will kind of help seal it all together. So pretty. I'm not 100% a fan of the background. I think after this dries completely, I'll probably paint that background black. I just wanted to try it. You see, this is where we try new things. We do that here instead of on a regular painting. We work out all of the details on something like this, and then when we go to do an actual painting, we know exactly where that painting's going. So we'll leave some of those lines just straight up right out of the tube, and some of them will, you know, come in and touch them a little bit and set them down into the painting a little bit more. Clean my nib over here, put the lid on. Ooh, I think that it needs some, there we go. Okay. Whale. I'm not a fan of what I did to the background, but I'm going to change that to black after it dries completely. And then I think I'll like, because it'll pop the whole thing off of the paper. So, in fact, let's just go ahead and test that theory right now because the black is activated. Let's just see if it works. Oh yeah, I like the black way better. So we'll do the black right up against and just kind of let that fade out to the top here. I suggest that you use a colored pencil on this first so that you don't ruin the page below. Because that's a lot of watercolor going on a page that doesn't have anything protecting it. And I'll come back in with the, oh, I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it. That's so cool. And I'm just using the same, I'm not squeezing any more water out. I'm just using that same dirty brush to kind of, you know, darken up the water down here a little bit more. Because it's hard to stop. Because I know I can keep going and develop it some more. But again, just for practice. Where's my lid? Oh, where's my lid? Huh, I don't know what I did with my lid. I'm sure it's right here, I just can't see it. Okay, now I'm gonna come back in here with the white one more time. I always activate them on my little palette so I can go back in and just dip my nib back into it, just like kind of like using a brush. That way I don't have to squeeze it down on the painting itself, because then you don't run the risk of squeezing out too much and screwing up what you've already done, and you know, all those things. All right, there we have it. I think we're gonna call this one good. So the horseshoe crab is down in the books for the Everglades. I'm pretty excited with how it turned out. It looks really pretty to me. I think there's always more that can be done. As I pick up the brush one more time, pick up another color one more time. But I feel like we've done a really great job here of getting the basics done on this and some of the advanced stuff as well. And so I think we're just gonna call it. So that's been another episode of Coloring Passports. I'm Real. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. I'll see you on the next page. Bye.